So I think CheonBo is not yet in our Zoom, so let us pray. 사랑하시는 하늘 부모님, 천지인 참 부모님 감사합니다. Thank you, our precious, loving Heavenly Parent, our victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, for bringing us together again as one big family here in Asia Pacific, together with all our blessed families, brothers and sisters who have joined with us in this 107th special CheonBo family meeting, where we are regularly having this meeting every week in a way, Heavenly Parents, so that with this we can be able to receive again your guidance and your inspiration, Father, through the words of our elders, leaders, and also with the best practices of our CheonBo victors and also our second generation tonight. Father is going to share his experience and his life in attending to you and attending to our beloved true parents. We ask you, Heavenly Parent, to please be with us in this evening as we would like again to open our hearts and our mind so that with these words of guidance and wisdom that you are going to share with us this evening can once again touch the heart of everyone.
ผมขอให้หัวใจของพระองค์พี่น้องชายพี่น้องสาว
all brothers and sisters of joining with us, and
ที่
then with
มา
this,
ร่วมกับเรา
give us the encouragement and the motivation to
ให้แรง
give
บันดาลใจซึ่งกันและกัน
for the success
สนับ
and
สนุน
victory
สำหรับ
of
การ
Vision
บรรลุถึง
2025 as we
การ
complete unite
ชัยชนะ
with
ของ
our
ปี
beloved Mother.
2025
Please
ด้วย
be
คุ
with
ณพระ
us
ที่แท้
in
จริง
this
ให้เรา
moment.
อยู่
Please
กับเรา
bless this occasion as we truly want to humbly offer and pray this to you
เราจะ
in
ถ
my
วาย
name. Jimmy Vergara,
ใน
bless and
นามของ
family.
จิมมี่วูกาลาครอบครัวและพรส่วนกลางอาชุ
Thank you. So at this point,
ขอบคุณครับ
thank once again everyone for
อีกครั้งหนึ่งทุกคน
seventh special CheonBo Families meeting.
สำหรับการประชุมครั้งที่สำคัญพิเศษนี้
Are all ready for
Jaime?
ถ้าเกิดเราพร้อมแล้ว
Jaime?
Yes.
The Thai translation is also being broadcast by the English, so we're hearing both of them. So at the audio side, somebody can check on that. Thank you.
Okay. So let's move now to the welcoming remarks. To start our meeting, we'd like to invite our PR and General Affairs Director of our Heavenly Asia Pacific, our Sub-Regional Director of Southeast Asia. Let's welcome our Reverend Dr. Julius B. Maligdam. Let's welcome him for the welcoming remarks.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Kuya Jimmy, Dr. Jimmy. Greetings to all our elders and leaders, CheonBo, families who are here, brothers and sisters. Greetings to Dr. and Mrs. Kittel, and also all the sub-regional directors, department heads, and national leaders who are joining us every Monday. So greetings to all of you. So it's very fast. Again, it's Monday evening. And as emphasized last time, that this CheonBo Monday evening gathering is one of the priorities, focus when it comes to the church growth, how we can strengthen this as one region. So that's why President Hori is actually included this in the focus of this year, 2024. So hopefully we can have more participation from many countries in our region because, as you know, we started only with in the Philippines in the beginning, and then later on this was extended to all the other nations that time in the former Asia Pacific 2, And then now, since we have one unified region, so more and more blessed families are also participating. So we are reminded of the purpose of this Monday CheonBo evening gathering, which is for us to learn from each other, from the breakthroughs and victories of our CheonBo challengers and victors. And at the same time, this is also a good platform for education because we are receiving guidance directly from our regional president, President Hori, and also from Dr. Kittle and other elders and leaders. So that's why this is a very good education platform also in our region, so that all blessed families from regions, regardless of the nations, we are one every Monday evening. Aju? So, yeah, this is a great blessing that we can continue and sustain this gathering. In fact, this has already, we can say, upgraded several times. This is already like second stage of our Monday Chonbo Club. In the past, we are focusing only on the testimony of how our Chonbo victors became Chonbo victors. So it's more of like formation stage. And then the growth stage, this is the second level that we have now. We focus more on giving reports on how we are taking care of our tribe, particularly raising up our 43 families. And so, but looks like this time another upgrade happened when we held our 100 times meeting of our Chonbo Monday Club. That time, President Hori gave very important guidance that this time we have to listen also from the testimonies and life story of some of our young leaders. So not only second generation leaders, but also first generation leaders, youth leaders. So that's why we have listened to some of them. Last time we listened to the testimony of one second gen in the Philippines, Shin Gavaran. Also, we have a chance to listen to Sister Riza, one of our UPA graduates, assigned in our region in Asia Pacific. And this time, we will be listening to the testimony of our brother Junyang Teves, one of our elder second gen in the Philippines, who is also taking up some public mission and responsibilities. So this will be a great Monday to listen from him, one of our very promising and leaders, young leaders in the Philippines. But before that, also I would like to report that President Hori completed his visit already in India, and this time he is now in Nepal, basically in Kathmandu. But also I would like to report to all our brothers and sisters and chonbos that President Hori paid indemnity actually, because when he arrived in Kathmandu, supposed to be he will travel to one region via flight, but that flight was canceled because of weather conditions. So he couldn't travel going to that region. So eventually they have to cancel that schedule. However, next day again, he is supposed to travel to another region in Nepal, but he have a stomach problem. So that's why he got sick and just stayed in his room for 2 days to recover. So all of his schedules were canceled and moved. But we're very happy yesterday. He is already back, and he could already have meetings with some of our leaders and members in, especially yesterday was Sunday, and also even today, we already have Zoom meeting with him in the morning, and then this afternoon he has meeting at the headquarters in Kathmandu with our leaders in Nepal. So, and then tomorrow he will be traveling to Bangkok, Thailand, and then stay there for around I think around 1 week or a little more than 1 week. And while President Hori will be in Thailand, we will be conducting the Heavenly Asia Pacific special seminar on true parents' value and stature. This is for leaders and pastors. So this is regional level, both on-site. In Bangkok, Thailand, and online 24. So please expect that all our national leaders are now organizing also local level education workshops and seminars related to this. So yeah, it's very busy because also now we are preparing for the events in Korea for the, of course, the True Parents Holy Wedding Anniversary, and at the same time, also the Cosmic Blessing. So there will be, we will be having participants also from our region who will be joining in Korea. So very busy time. Plus, we have some clergy, Christian clergy couples who will be attending the blessing in Korea. So this time, we are preparing from our region in Asia Pacific 5 couples. So together with the World Christian Leadership Conference in America, WCLC will bring 40 couples, clergy couples, and they will receive the blessing in Korea. And then Asia Pacific will send 5 couples. So we are preparing also for that, and hopefully they can all uh, be confirmed. All the clergy's recommended couples recommended to join in Korea, especially in Philippines, they need visa. So hopefully they can all get visa. And also, I think 2 couples from Thailand and 1 couple from Australia are being prepared for this. So yeah, it's a great time that we are living now. This morning, President Hori emphasized that CheonBo families need to take the lead in supporting True Mother. And what he means this time is that CheonBo families need to directly be involved with the final providence of True Mother. When we say final providence on the earth, so for example, this time the Chonchimwon, the Chonwon-gong completion, and the opening of Chonwon-gong. So all of this, as CheonBo families and CheonBo victors, we need to take the lead. So this is what President Hori emphasized in our meeting this morning. We will be giving more information about how CheonBo families can really support True Mother. This is like the final providence that True Mother is accomplishing and completing while she is on the earth. So that's why this is very important time for us to be involved, supporting all our national providence and also our regional and of course our world providence. So let's have a great Monday meeting today, listening to the testimony of our brother Junyang Teves. So kamsahamnida, and let's have great victorious Monday Chonbo Club. Kamsahamnida.
Um, Marks, yes, we are very excited to listen now for that 2 days to hear on that. So at this time, we would like to invite also our Chonde chairman to give his opening message. So let's welcome our Dr. Robert and Tita Tricia Kittel for their opening message. Let's welcome them with our virtual clap.
Oh, here's my wife. She is in Chicago and I am in Manila. Thank you, Jaime. Thank you, Dr. Julius, for your insights and updates that we have. One thing that President Hori said when we had a PCLC meeting last week, he talked about the importance of the Death Valley salt that Mother is giving to us. And Death Valley is the lowest point, I think, in the northern hemisphere. And they call it Death Valley because if you go there, you usually don't come out alive because there's no water, just salt, and all you eat is just very hot, very dry. It never rains, and if you get lost there, you will die. Even people with the cars, if the car breaks down, then they're in jeopardy as well. So it's a, I think we're supposed to die to our fallen nature. That's the best place. If you want to die, then go to some place really difficult where Satan doesn't like to go. And but President Hori said two things that Mother is emphasizing. One is the Chungshimwan, and that is Pentecost. And that's the Pentecost that she's emphasizing. And that is actually the most important part. The other is the world mission, going out and witnessing and testifying to people. And she said, that's, President Hori said, that's the purpose of the holy salt, because in the Bible, it links the holy salt. It says, you know, if the salt has lost its flavor, then it has no use. And at the same time, if you put the candle under the bushel, you don't do that. So you should let your candle be seen and let your salt be tasted. So people should taste the principle and taste and see the love within the lives of our blessed couples. That's the best testimony. And for the pastors, the best testimony is our young people. When they see the clarity, the purity, the heart of our young people, then Christian pastors very quickly they can see, oh, something is different. How did you do it? How did you do that? And if you think about it, when Mother went around at the beginning of her, you know, after Father passed away in the 2013, and 14, 15. She went around to many countries in the world, and she did the same thing in each country. She would meet the head of state and then have a program, usually inside Parliament. And then inside the Parliament, they would have a blessing. And then she introduced something new to the blessing. And she said, I want young people to do the Pure Love Pledge before the couples do the marriage dedication. So Mother is teaching us, I mean, this is the essence of Heavenly Parents Holy Community. It's educate young people about the importance of purity, educate the adults about the importance of marriage, and that's it. And then we can fly the flag in their church and they can they can be part of this holy community. Other theological issues will be different, even within denominations. So let's not get stuck on the theological differences, but look at what Mother has done, what she did when she went around, you know, in nations, you know, basically, let's hold a marriage blessing, a marriage dedication. And normally in our tradition, we always sprinkle the water, the holy water. But when she was in Niger in Africa, that's a Muslim country, to sprinkle the water would be something like a Christian baptism. And so she said, okay, well, Mother just dipped her hands in the water and then touched the hands of the couples. Each couple that came by, she dipped her hands in the water and touched the hands of the couple. So Mother's willing to adopt and adapt. So we should also have, you know, some ability to embrace, you know, other traditions and other cultures and not ask them to violate their fundamental theological differences in order to join us. That's too steep. Mother made this holy community, Heavenly Parents Holy Community, for that purpose as well. One other thing I wanted to share with you. Oh, I want to share one thing. I just read it before coming here, and it's by David Hanna. He is from England. We were classmates together at UTS, and he wrote about Heavenly Parent. I could send it to you, but one interesting point is he quotes from a Catholic Franciscan, and the name is Father Richard Rohr, R-O-H-R, and he's at the Center for Action and Contemplation in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And people are kind of getting what Mother is talking about, even without meeting true parents. They realize there's a need for this. Listen to what he said. I'm quoting him. Do you think if we had a more feminine image of God, that we would have understood creation as labor and giving birth, If we had had an image of God as the great mother giving birth, I think history, as progress, as pain, as patient guided destiny, would have been more natural. As it is, we see that history as a lineal obstacle course, something to be conquered and exploited and won, the more masculine element of love. So even, people are getting it that we need theologians, religions need to incorporate the feminine element of God within their heart and within their theology in a wholehearted way. And this is what Mother is asking us to do. So I look forward to this evening. My wife has, I think, a few things she would like to say. She needs to leave early, but she'll stay as long as she can. So, Teresa, you're muted.
Thank you very much. I agree with my husband, what he shared. And I want to greet President Tory and all leaders and all CheonBo victors and CheonBo challengers and all brothers and sisters, especially also the second gen and the young people that are watching today and learning from their elder brother. I heard President Iki's song in the Cheonjin prayer time on Thursday saying that people who participate in the Olympic Games or other world sport events, they train so hard. And we also should work as hard as those Olympians trying to get a medal in order to help our true mother succeed in her mission. Yeah, that's all I want to share today. Thank you very much, and I look forward to the meeting, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, our 21 couple, Dr. Robert and Tita Tricia Kiko, for always your precious words as we always have this Monday Chonmukbang. So with that, then now I think we are all ready to receive one of the testimony. He's one of the promising youth leader in the Philippines, and recently I've heard he had just welcomed his spouse from Singapore, and I think he's going to introduce to us also the couple, and I think they are now in the Philippines, so we hope that we can have a beautiful testimony for this evening. So without further ado, I would like to invite our second gen, our June Young Teves, for his testimony. Let's put our hands together to welcome our June Teves.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. I invited my wife tonight to see you all, but I'm afraid she's really shy. So I'll just be representing her tonight, if that's fine. But anyway, thank you so much for coming to all of our leaders, elders, brothers, and sisters. Yeah. So allow me to share my screen. Let me just. I know it's a bit different from what we're usually doing, but
We
I'll
want
be
you to
sharing
share
live
your
today.
wife too.
I'll call her later, Dr. Kittel.
Okay.
Hopefully she'll come into the video
Thank
feed.
you.
Thank you so much. So yeah, like our Sir Jimmy has mentioned, so just recently my wife has arrived in Philippines, and I am doing some mission as well today, most on the YSP side. So I'd like to share as well my testimony and some of the best practices that I have done in the shorter period of time in my own mission. So first and foremost, here are my parents and my family. So that's all of us there. I'd like to introduce first my parents. So for those who know them, they are Mr. Nazario Teves Jr. and Yumiko Teves. They're a Filipino and Japanese couple. So they were blessed on August 25, 1992, during the 30,000 couples blessing in Seoul. These are my siblings. So Jungwon, Jundo, and Juran. And I'm proud to say that they're all doing mission as well. In Metro Manila, Jundo is the NCRBC president. Jongwan is supporting the center. He's working as an animator and giving support as well for second gen activities. And Duran is social media manager. As I mentioned, my wife is here in the Philippines. So this is her and me. We started our first chat on October 2, 2019. So some time ago. Then 3 months later, we got engaged. So it was really fast. December 15, 2019. Then there was a gap of around 2 years. So April 16 was her blessing in Singapore. And finally, we had our registration of marriage on November 11, 2023 to legalize our marriage. So as of now, we live together. We're dealing with life's challenges as a couple, and hopefully, facing um, the future together and seeing what we could do for the Providence. So I'd like to start my story with a background of who I was before I went into the mission. I feel like this is just as important, um, seeing as how a lot of my background has influenced me to actually go into the mission. So I'd like to share first who I was raised by. So I was raised by, I guess, a village of members from the Philippines. So once upon a time, my parents were both abroad. When I was around 1 years old at that time, my father had to go to Hong Kong for mission, for fundraising, and my mother had to work in Japan as a nurse to, save up for our house. So that's me with Tito Jun Baswil. He was basically my second parent together with Tita Yuko when I was 1 years old. And that's me on my first birthday. Yeah. And this is me and my dad when he used to lead the Dagupan Center. So it was years ago. I think I was like 4 years old at that time. I just entered nursery, and at a young age, I was already used to seeing members fundraising and hearing about certain terms that members uses. So I guess this is why I've been really comfortable with living in a center later on in my life. So this was one of those foundations that I have. Then I am also I also joined the Sunday programs of Sir Julius Malikdem back when he was handling, as well as handling some summer camps. And I guess that's where I learned my identity as a second gen. I didn't really know it at home. I simply know that I have parents and I have people who are close to us. During the Sunday programs, we learned who we are, who true parents are, and we first got introduced to the community. But of course, the first time that I learned the second gen community or what it was all about was when I entered into Sunwa. So I studied there for 3 years, and that's where I met most of my friends today from the second gen community, and that's where I experienced what it's like to have a lot of people who are like minded. Because as a second generation, it's very easy to feel cast as a cast out in society. So having a lot of second gen around you just felt so different as a young kid. Of course, the first activity that caught my attention as a young kid in the church was the Tong Mudo. So I joined the promotional camps in Cabanatuan Center back then under Tito Wensi. And yeah, this was I guess one of the fun experiences I had as a kid, getting up to green belt. So this is my calling to the mission. So it's a very interesting story. What really got me into the mission is one person, and it's Engineer Rolando Baswil. So he told, I'll quote what I recall, and it's that Sir Baswil mentioned in order for the second generation to appreciate their identity, they must go the same path as the first generation had gone. So I didn't understand what that meant at the time. I just knew that I had to understand what my parents did to understand who I am. So I wanted to experience mission for that very reason. I wanted to know what it's like to be, in my parents' footsteps. And afterwards, I tried different things as a young kid. So I was not very experienced. All I did was do Sunday programs. So this is me in HQ with all the other second gens, just handling Sunday services and giving lectures. Among those who already know the DP, obviously, we formed a group called the DP Club under Tito Randy and Ate Christine back then, and eventually it became the SYS, which was organized when Kuya Takayoshi from the UPA went to the Philippines and partnered with Ate Jeyang to form a official Metro Manila second gen community. So they are now basically what we call the NCRBC. Yeah. And one of the greatest experiences I had as a kid was joining all the workshops as a second generation, the summer camps, the Thailand workshops, the Christmas parties and everything. It really felt like I was at home because as a teenager then, I really struggled with facing, the world with different worldviews and different concepts. And I just felt so much at home seeing other second generation, feeling like we just knew each other very well. And we just felt like we are a family. So this was basically me in high school. And I guess it really reached a peak when I went into Chompiong. And I went there, I joined 4 sets of Chompiong workshops, 1 21 days, and then 3 40 days workshop. So during that time, I have made a realization facing the cold of my fate. I didn't feel who I was. I wasn't really proud of being a second gen in front of my classmates in high school. So I had lived this sort of double standard life as a teenager. And I was very shy at school, but then I went to the church. I was very active and I felt like a different person. So I knew I had to stop this at one point. I knew I had to change myself. I had to improve how I viewed myself and really be proud of who I am. But I couldn't do that yet. So the last time I went to Champion, the last batch of Champion for the days that I joined, I decided to pray really deeply and to really determine to do something when I come back. So, well, this is a sort of summarized ChatGPT version of my prayer. So basically, what I prayed in Chongshimon at that time was that Heavenly Parents, I don't want to keep going back home and being faithless. I want to live out my faith every day. Please help me to find a way to do so, and I want to be part of your providence. So I didn't know what I should do. I just figured if Heavenly Parents could tell me, what I had to do, how could I be a faithful second generation, then I'll take it, whatever it is. So, and that was my prayer at the time, and I never expected what happened next. But anyway, fast forward a few months. So I was enrolling in the university for college, and I enrolled in TUP. So I wanted to study to be an engineer. Eight, 10 years ago. So that's a long time ago. And the only reason I wanted to be an engineer because it they said it pays a lot. So I figured, okay, why not engineering? And I found a school that was the cheapest and has the highest board passing rate in engineering, and that was TUP. So there was no reason, no spiritual reason why I chose this school. But then along the way, going to the university, I noticed that they had wall murals painted outside of the university. And I was just interested because I like arts. So I saw one wall mural that caught my attention when I entered the university. It's this wall mural right here. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with it, but it really caught my attention as I came in. Then after I finished the admission, when we passed by the same wall mural again, I realized that this wall mural will eventually be my favorite piece of art until today. And it's not because it looks good or it's because it has the colors I like. It's because underneath that wall mural are two logos that I'll never forget: the logo of the university and the logo of CARP. So that was the day that I decided that I'm going to be a CARP member. I saw that mural right there and I decided, okay, I found my people. I don't know why God sent me here, but I guess I'm going to be a CARP member. So that was the decision that has changed the next, the last 10 years of my life. And that's when I decided I needed to do my frontline mission. So my frontline mission began when I met these people. I found out that back then the leader for CARP was Sir Errol Del Monte. So he was leading the university, as leading a center as well in Pasay. It's a nearby city as well, so it's like almost walking or sort of one jeepney ride from the university. So I figured, why not stay in the center? Why not study engineering and be a full-time missionary? What could go wrong? And yeah, so I spent 3 years there in the center. I just I went fundraising with everyone. I struggled with them. I also overcame the different fallen natures of my brothers and sisters, and it was really great. So my mission basically revolved around these. So I was doing regular fundraising. We also did witnessing, sharing the DP with other students from our university. We did food raising when we didn't have enough results sometimes. We also joined national fundraising tour. So this was the entire summer vacation. We went around the entire Philippines and visited different regions to do fundraising as well. I also did center lecturing. I also handled Pure Love programs on campus, and doing some campus witnessing, setting up booths to invite people to the organization. And finally, I was also one of the church event mobilizers. So every X road or church event, I'm there together with everyone else. So it was all good until at one point I've come to the greatest decision that I had to make in my college life. Obviously, what could go wrong is that my grades, started failing. I was spending more time outside the university than actually being a student, which was obviously a bad thing for an engineering student. So I had to make a decision to either make up for all of my failing grades, but I would also have to leave the center. I would have to spend all of my time studying just to get back because I had a couple of low grades and I was pretty much going to be kicked out by the university. But I just couldn't say yes to that decision. I felt like I wanted to be here in the center. I didn't want to leave. And I just thought to myself, what would my parents do? I mean, my parents pretty much, they left their career, they left their studies and everything just to pursue the mission. So couldn't I sacrifice something? So I did. I sacrificed my studies, but I didn't drop out of the university. I shifted to another course. So I basically went from an engineer to an engineering technician. And it was like basically my offering, sort of, I think we call it my ISAC of myself. After that, I sacrificed what I really loved, which was to be an engineer. And I decided that this is what's going to make me redouble my determination to fulfill my mission as a and these are my breakthroughs after that decision that I have made. So afterwards, I've gained my confidence in public speaking. This has always been a struggle for me in high school, and finally, I learned how to speak to people through my fundraising, and lecturing. I became the TUP chapter president of our university, so taking the responsibility of my past leader. Then I raised over 1 million peso through fundraising. So I'm not sure if many people can be proud to say that, but I do believe after at least 5 or 4 years of fundraising, I've raised enough money to make someone a millionaire through my fundraising mission. And I've offered it all for Heavenly Parents, so not a cent to my own name. I hosted more than 4 major CARP events as an MC and a lecturer. And I became the vice president and national lecturer for Pure Love in the Philippines. So these were my great experiences as a young leader. And I know that this came out of my own sacrifice of choosing to focus to the mission, and somehow setting aside my studies at that moment. Of course, I'm not promoting to anyone to do the same thing as I did, but at that moment, I felt no one else was doing what I was doing. So I had to set at least one example so that other people could learn from me. And eventually, I finished my college in the end, which was a good thing. So, and I still have these mission experiences. So what I've learned is that number one, slow progress is still progress. Experience is better a teacher than any textbooks. I've learned through experience to make all the wrong choices so that I know how to make the right choice. I learned to chase progress instead of happiness, since progress brings happiness once you achieve it. I've learned to experience hardship, and it makes my life become richer. I also learned to find my own voice, and I learned not to live in someone else's shadow, which I feel a lot of second generation struggle with, sort of living up to the name of their parents, or the first generation, but I realized we have our own life of faith, and it can still be to contribute to heavenly parents using our own connection with them. Then I also learned that winners never quit and quitters never win. Yeah. So afterwards, after my center life, I began doing other leadership roles. So in the past years, I joined the 1 year sub leader training. I became an HTM mobilizer and coordinator. I also became the president of the second generation community in our region. For a short period of time, I opened the center for the BCs. I also became the center leader for the Hope Center, which is a sort of witnessing center for NCR. And for a brief moment in time,